My God, how many girls did I miss out on because I didn't have the balls to go and tell her that I liked her. I have different interests and I want to do different things, and I can't do all of those things at the same time. But once at a time, give something a real shot. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in on episode 4 of Stories and Status, a show in which we explore what it's like to be human. Every week I sit down and look at ideas that I find interesting, things that are happening in my life that I think could be useful for somebody else. And this week I have been thinking a lot about this idea. What have I been given that nobody else has? I don't know about you, but I think a lot about why am I here? Why did God create me? What have I been made for? Specifically, what is unique about me? What do I have that nobody else has? And most of the creative stuff that I make, and the reason why I make anything at all, is because I'm trying to find answers to things. This is one of the things that I want to know so bad. But how do you know who you are? How do you know why you were created? Why God created you? You know, the world is made of 8 billion people. And it's just now. The universe has been around for 13.7 billion years. There's a lot more people who have been here, and out of everybody, I have things that are unique to me. Things that only I can do. At least in the way that I do them. Right? And what are those? Like, how do you know that? I hope to explore that in this episode. I use the word explore for a reason, because I don't have fully fledged ideas, or I don't have answers. I don't have answers to this question. Like, I don't have a blueprint to figuring out who you are or finding who you are. But at least I can share how I am approaching it. And I listed 3 things that I find that they help me a lot. One being, approach everything with an open heart. I think, most of the time when I have an idea, when I meet a person, when I'm offered something new to eat, my initial reaction is to, say no, to push it away, to, I don't eat that. I don't like that kind of music. I, don't think this idea will work. And by saying no to things all the time, I don't explore those things. I don't even have a basis on which I say no. Most of the time. Sometimes I just don't like the thing because I've tested it, I've tried it, and I don't like it. But other times I just turn things down without even giving them, a try. And I think it's very important to explore, to try things, to allow yourself to experience something, go through it, and then make an opinion about it. So, for example, I tried to start a business in 2023, the beginning of 2023 or mid 2023, right? was a video creative agency, and I had some experience making videos. So I had a lot of doubts. It took me almost 4 months to finally decide to, launch it or do something about it. And why did it take me 4 months? Because I was, finding all kinds of reasons, telling myself all kinds of things to try to convince me that this thing is not gonna work. And, I'm new to the United States. People are not going to trust me, or they're not gonna work with me. Why would they? Like, there's a lot more other people with, skills and stuff that I don't have, or give myself all kinds of reasons to not do it. And when I finally did it, some of what I was telling myself were true. Okay? I didn't have the skills necessary yet. I didn't have, equipments that were enough for me to produce videos of the caliber that people would want and stuff. But what I didn't know, which I learned, is that people do say yes to stuff. And when you actually go and reach out to them and put in the effort, explain what you're going to do for them, explain the value, it's in it for them, people do say yes. And I actually did make a video for a business, for a small business. And that was an eye-opening experience for me, because had I not given myself the freedom to actually go for it, which is the next thing that I wanted to talk about, to give things a real shot before you make, an opinion. So now if I have an idea, instead of saying it's not gonna work, giving myself all kinds of reasons why it's not gonna work, I give it a shot. I try it out. I give it a chance to prove me right or wrong. Instead of telling myself no, I let somebody else tell me no, right? Instead of saying, this applies to all kinds of things, relationships too, right? I spoke about relationships last time, but if I see a girl that I like, my first instinct is to not talk up, to not approach her, to not, go and tell her how I feel about her. And it has been for a long time. And my God, how many girls did I miss out on because I didn't have the balls to go and tell her that I liked her. So I think it applies to all kinds of things. Instead of me telling myself no, let me go give it a shot, tell her I like her, and then she's gonna tell me that she doesn't like me. And that's fine. Like, I'm not for everybody. She's not for everybody too. And, so give things a real shot and approach things, ideas, projects, people with an open heart. The next thing that I wrote down was follow my goosebumps. This was so under, figuring out who you are and finding out what you're meant to do. Why you're here. And I think this is something that I heard Jacob Coriel say. He's also heard that from Quincy Jones, I think. And follow your goosebumps. He meant this on, music. But I think this applies to almost everything too. You know when you like something and when you don't. And something that I try to do is if I like something, if I like a song, I try to at least, like, if I like it beyond everything else. Sometimes you like something and it's meh, like you can live without it. But if I really, really vibe with the song, I try to at least analyze, what about it do I like? is it the melody, or is it like the how the music is arranged or put together? Is it like it's an instrument that's used that's not used in many songs and stuff? And by doing that, like recently, I mean a couple months ago, I think my tastes have gone so much better, and now I know the kinds of songs that I like. I tend to like very layered music, like not just guitar or piano, whatever, like very musically very technical music. And I would not have been able to realize that if I didn't analyze, this song has this in common with this song, and allow myself to test different kinds of songs too, right? Not limit myself to saying, oh, I like, hip hop. So I'm only going to be listening to hip hop. I'm a hip hop kind of guy. Or I like Afrobeats. I'm only going to be listening to Afrobeats. Like, allow yourself to be many things. Allow yourself to try many things. Allow yourself, like, I love, almost songs from every genre, right? And I can listen to hip hop right now and be vibing, and listen to techno or house music and have fun as well. And yeah, live with an open heart. Try things out. Try ideas out. Explore things. Put yourself out there and follow your goosebumps. You know when you like something and when you don't. If you like something, try to understand why you like it. That doesn't only apply to music, it also applies to food. If you try something, okay, I don't know, vegan, and you like it, try you're not gonna do it like all the time, but at least when you can, try to figure out where's the ingredients that were used to make this dish. I think if you follow what you like and try to understand why you like it, you are going to have a better chance of understanding things about yourself that are unique to only you, than if you shut things down, if you don't, if you are rigid, if you're rigid and only this, I'm this type of person. I'm a type of person who only eat meats, who only eat meat. Okay, I'm a type of person who only, I don't know, drink beer. I don't drink wine. Why? Like, why? Why would you not want to try wine too? You might like it better. If you don't like it, sure. If you have tried it and you don't like it, please. But if you haven't tried it, I think it's Tyler, the creator, who I don't remember like which interview he was in, but he basically said, what reference are you basing on to judge if my sweater, I can cut to it.
I even get it with clothes, like kids like, oh, that sweater's trash. Do you ever wear sweater vests? Yeah. No. You only wear t-shirts, hoodies, them weak ass black chinos, right? Yeah, I've never worn a sweater in my life. So what's your point of reference on if this sweater is good or not for what it is?
And they never... So if you haven't tried something, don't judge it. Allow yourself to try things first and then judge them later. Okay? Give things a real shot. I find that I'm interested in a lot of things. If we're talking about, career-wise, I'm interested in doing all kinds of things. Clearly, storytelling, web design and web development, writing. I like writing. It's probably the most difficult thing that I do, but I like it. I like the feeling that I get after writing something good. But I have different interests and I want to do different things, and I can't do all of those things at the same time. But once at a time, give something a real shot and figure out if it's for you or if it's not. And for me, at least, I try something for 100 times. When I was starting out in learning design, I committed to making it a design every single day and posting it on IG, and did it for 3 months and I think a little bit, right? So 90 days. When I started the Sunday Soul project, I did it for almost also 4 months, right? And by doing it at least every single day, I experiment and learn as quickly as I can and figure out if that project, that idea, or that skill is something that I find interesting or not. Do I want to continue or do I not want to continue? Right? And I've made the mistake of committing to, like Sunday, so I said I was going to commit for 6 years, right? And that was wrong because I end up, dropping it because it just like couldn't work for me. Getting out every single day and taking a photograph and coming and editing, with life, it gets so hectic. Now, I do know by doing it every single day that I love it so much that I'm never going to stop. I just can't do it every single day. But I would not have realized how much I love photography, how much I love observing people, if I hadn't given it a real shot, right? I also know that that is not a project you do if you want to make money. Because when I started it, I thought that it was going to be a project that could make money. But very, very difficult to do. And so, but I only know those things because I tried it for 4 straight months. The amount of things you learn, the technical skills that you develop by trying something for 100 straight days is invaluable. Like you cannot compare that to anything. And now I have data to base on to make a decision to say this is for me or this is not for me. So the same way I have a page in which I put, random thoughts, ideas that I find interesting. I have another page called Someday Shelf in which I put business ideas. So if I have a business idea, something that I think could be a money-making project or whatever, I put it in Someday Shelf. And if it bothers me enough, after a week, after 2 weeks, if I keep thinking about it, it qualifies for me to give it a real shot. I take in the process of what's the quickest way can I learn or understand that this thing can work, right? And so, I don't know, it could be sending out a survey for people who I think might benefit from the idea that the business that I want to start or the project that I want to start, or it could be making content and seeing people if are interested in that type specific thing. It could be all kinds of things that you can try out to figure out as quickly as possible, can this thing work or not? And then if it works, follow through. But if it doesn't, then at least you've given it a shot, and you've given it a real shot, not just a shot, a real shot. Do it for 100 straight days. Do it for, make 100 calls, send 100 emails, make 100 contents. This podcast, I will not stop until I've made 100 episodes and either found that it's not useful for me because it's meant to be useful for me. I find sitting down every week to discuss these ideas help me understand them better, help me internalize them and make them part of my life. Or it's not useful for somebody else, right? If nobody else find it interesting, if nobody else find it useful, I don't know, I might continue doing it, I might not continue doing it. If it doesn't make me any money, because I do have in mind to turn this podcast into a money making thing. It's a project that I think could make money down the line. So if those are hypotheses that I have, right? Have an hypothesis that this is going to help me develop as a person. Have an hypothesis that this is going to be useful for somebody else. Have an hypothesis that someday this could be a platform that is useful enough for somebody else to come on and have a conversation with me, and then maybe that will help me make money in some way, right? But those are hypotheses. Like, those are things that I don't know that they are true. So it's only by doing it for at least 100 times that I can know, look back and say, I've developed as a person. And I have developed as a person even by the fourth episode, right? A lot of things that are changing within my life, or the decisions that I'm making differently because of these ideas that I'm noting down. So it's already useful to me. Is it useful for somebody else? I do not know that yet. Will it make money? I do not know that yet, right? And yet is a very important idea too that you can talk about. Like, when you have an idea, it's not good yet. Just write it down as it is, as sketchy as it is, and then you can make it good down the line. If you are doubting yourself about, pulling off a business project or putting off something, it's not good yet, but it could be. So give things a real shot. The last thought that I have about this is, on top of giving things a real shot, approaching life with an open heart, trying to understand what you like about them, and what you hate and what you hate about them, and only making judgments after giving things a real shot, making an opinion about something because you've actually tried it out. You have a reference to base on to say, I don't like this thing. That process, engaging in that process itself of trying to figure out, what do I like about them, what do I hate about them, will teach you a lot of things. At least it's teaching me a lot of things about what I'm like, who I am, things that I find interesting, things that I click with, people I click with, people I want to be part of their lives, and I want them to be part of my life, because there are things that attract me to them. And on top of all the things that I shared, I think being comfortable with the idea of not fitting in, not being only a certain way because society says you should be this way, not liking Afrobeats because I'm from Africa, so I should like Afrobeats, right? Or from this place and they do this thing, so I should do this thing. Yeah, that feels sometimes, at least for me, that feels weird, right? Because I don't just like Afrobeat. I love Afrobeat, by the way. This is not to me. I love Afrobeat. But I don't like all songs that I listen to be Afrobeat. I was talking to a friend, and I had shared with her an album, Glimmer of God. I think that's what the album is called. Let me see. Yes, Glimmer of God by Gene Dawson, who is amazing, by the way. I like the guy. But I shared the songs and thought that, my friend would like it. She ended up not liking it as much as I thought she would. I was like, I thought I understood your taste in music, but apparently you I got it wrong? Like, what are some of the songs that you listen to that you think define your taste? Like, give me songs that you think three songs that you think define your taste. And she was like, just three? Even my Spotify Wrapped would not something. And I thought that was interesting because I even like fell in the trap of thinking that only three thoughts. What is wrong with me? Songs could define her taste. And how could it? Like, a whole person cannot be defined by three songs. Like, her taste, what she likes in music could not be boiled down to three songs. Now, those three songs could be, could lead in a direction of saying this is kind of what I like, but there's no such a thing as you are one thing. And I think that mindset of saying, I'm from here, so I should behave this way. I believe in this religion, or I go to this church, and that means that I'm only going to hang out with people like this. I don't have a tattoo, so I shouldn't talk to people with tattoos, without even like understanding why they got the tattoos or where they come from. Like, not seeking to understand is, they could not lead you to understanding who you are, what you're here for. It's by seeking to understand. It's by opening yourself up to things that don't necessarily feel like home, that don't necessarily feel like they belong in your world. It's by opening up yourself to, a world that's outside of your comfort zone. It's by pushing yourself. It's by accepting ideas that don't necessarily, click with you the moment you hear them. It's by giving things real shots, trying things out, that at least you allow yourself to know what it's like to be you in those situations, and that's going to inform, at least, to reveal to you things that you didn't know about yourself that are going to be useful to you and help you live, hopefully, a life that God created you to live. I feel like a pastor now, and I'm tired. So thank you so much for listening to me explore this idea. I was all over the place, but I hope one of the things that I mentioned could be useful to you. This is something that I might have a completely different perspective on, a year from now or 2 years from now. But that's the point. The point is to keep exploring. It's to keep an open mind to things, not saying I believe this thing to be true, so it's always going to be true. If I find a person who give me an idea that is convincing, that's better, that's proved to work for them, I can try that out. If it works for me, then I go with that. I change my mind. And I think that's a better way to live, man. Like, it's it definitely makes life more enjoyable when you open yourself up to try things out that you wouldn't necessarily try out. And the byproduct of that is understanding yourself and understanding things about yourself that you don't necessarily understand, but at least it makes life fun. When I started not saying I only listen to this kind of songs. I found out like songs that now are so play like a big role in my life that I wouldn't have ever gotten to experience. And I've met people and stayed with people that I didn't click with first, but now are like very good friends with me, friends of mine. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.